One of the saddest things that can come from any relationship is when two people get to know each other so well. They know their secrets, they know their fears, they know their favorite things, what they love to do and what they hate. Literally everything about them. And then they break up and go back to being strangers. What is even sad, you have to walk past them and pretend like you never knew them, never talked to them, when really you know everything about them. You know their everyday schedule to the point where you can imagine what they are doing at this very moment. My name is Eric Magwaro, and the show on the air is MDH Talk Show, where we discuss relationships. On this episode, we are talking about the stages of a relationship. Stage number one is always the meeting stage. That's when you get to meet the person that you want to enter into a relationship with. But number two is always the chase. In this stage, this is when you want to know more about the person that you are entering into a relationship with. You want to hang out with them. You want to talk to her on the phone, sometimes for 6 hours, until even 4 a.m. in the morning. At this stage, she is the priority. To the point where if, let's say, you are doing anything that you are doing, let's say watching a movie, and she calls, you can actually pause that movie and receive her call so that you can talk to her. That is the second stage, called the chase. Now, the third stage is called the honeymoon. This is where you fully express your love to each other. The girl that you wanted to be with so bad is finally yours. Now, at this stage, you have done everything with each other. You've taken all the pictures together. You've said all the words to each other. You've told her all the stories. You have visited all your favorite places, But eventually, the fire cools down and you move to the next stage. And the next stage, stage number 4, is the comfortable stage. Now, this is the stage where you get to be yourself, okay? Now, let me pause here and give an advice that I've always given before. Don't pretend to be who you are not in order to be with someone, because you can't pretend forever. A time is coming when you will want to be yourself, and in this stage, actually, this is when you get to be yourself. And so just be who you are and let who you are attract the right people to you, because if you are pretending, a time is coming when you'll get to this stage where you are going to start being comfortable and be yourself, and in that way, by being yourself, you'll probably get to break up at this point, because you thought the person that you thought was good to you is not that, or there's probably a character that you have seen that you had not seen before. Now, this stage is not necessarily a bad stage, because it depends with what you do with the comfort. Okay, some people use it positive by continuing to work on their relationship and grow together, but others allow it to create distance and you start taking each other for granted. That is when someone stops trying, because the feelings are not as strong as before. This will take months or even a year. Now, let me address this story that has been trending for some time. I've never really had the opportunity to address it, but I think I'm going to address it right now. The story of Alfred Mutua and Lillian. Now, in my opinion, if you ask me, I don't agree with what Lillian did, because they probably came to this stage and then, they were probably taking each other for granted, and what she did was move out of that relationship and go start another relationship, and then start from all the stages that we have mentioned. My point will be this. If you're in a relationship and you've seen that you're taking each other for granted, you can choose to work on that relationship, because I believe love is like a fireplace. Love or marriage is like a fireplace. If this fire is burning and you just let it burn, the fire will go out, okay? But if you add some more fuel into that relationship or into that love, then your love will grow together. Because the question that I'm going to leave with you is this. Will you rather give one guy 20 chances or will you rather give 20 different guys a chance? That's for you to answer. So the fifth stage is now the stage that is called tolerance. And at this stage, somehow the girl that you were so crazy about a year ago turns to be someone who isn't that special anymore. It gets to a place where your relationship is not bad, but it's not great either. And let me tell you something, that is never a good way to describe a relationship. If, let's say, someone was asking you about your boyfriend or about your girlfriend and like, hey, how you guys doing? You respond, we're just there. We're just there. That is never a good way to describe a relationship. This is the stage where you get to, and then let's say you are chatting and the chats are like, hi, how you doing today? Good. Have you eaten? No. Okay, good night. And that stage is never a good one in a relationship. Now, there are a lot of women especially who are stuck in their marriages for a different reason other than love for their husbands, and that is actually the children. So you get to notice that they get to this stage where they are just tolerating one another, and that is also a very bad stage to get. Now, the other stage is downhill. Now, in this stage, the effort to make things work isn't worth it anymore. You argue every day, and you don't even remember what you argued about. This is the stage where you can go 2-3 days without talking even on the phone. And let me tell you something out there, ladies. If a guy can take 2-3 days without calling you, I don't think that relationship is going anywhere. Because guys, communication is key in a relationship. Okay? Now, of course, you know what the last step is going to be. The last stage is going to be breaking up. Breaking up is really tough because you become strangers again. And then you start reading your chats from the honeymoon stage and you just shed tears. Because the text that you'll be reading will be like, I will never leave you no matter what happens. You are the most important person in my life. Now that is the saddest thing that can come from a relationship. That two people who knew each other so well, they knew everything about them, and then they get to break up. And the saddest thing also is that now when you meet, you have to walk past them like you don't know them, when really you know everything about them. So my advice to you will be this: if you're in a relationship, make sure you are putting effort into that relationship, because if you're not putting effort in that relationship, the relationship will end, because like we said, love is a fireplace. If you're not putting any effort into that, into the love, then obviously the love will grow cold. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode, and please continue subscribing because we are coming with more episodes on this that are going to help you tame your relationship. Thank you, and blessings will be upon you.